freezing here. I'll trade you.
Oh, I would definitely take
Hello,
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, this book, which John Lamont recommended to me, actually, Roger Corman's
Oh yeah.
"How I Made 100 Movies in Hollywood and Never Lost a Dime."
Yeah.
It's a pretty good, autobiography of a movie producer. And and as I
Yes.
was telling John, maybe he needed to,
You should read it.
yeah, you should read it. Not only recommend it to other people, but sometimes maybe read it for yourself. And
uh, I'm sorry,
because
John.
what Corman talked about, and this is a situation I find myself in, or at least observed. But particularly, if you're in LA and you're like, hey, I want to get movies, then you start going to these groups with people who want to get movies. And, I would go as a writer, and maybe a writer with a little bit of money. And, you meet other people. You meet a lot of actors. You tend to meet a lot of actors and a lot of writers. LA is full of, actors and writers. But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them will also have projects that are, a lot of them just have dreams. But some people will have projects that are like, there's been some development effort into it, and there's been some work product put out. Some people will have movies that have been entirely shot, um, and I'm still on a list for emails, and I get them every day from these people in LA who are trying to network and whatever. And I don't know, this wasn't off a list. This was a direct email to me I got a week ago. Was like, hey, I'm looking for an investor as I want to make a movie. And I'm like, okay, and this, by the way, is my go-to question, because I do have people come to me and say this on occasion of, hey, I've got, I want to make movie. I'm looking for investors. And my first question is always, have you talked to a distributor?
Hmm.
And usually the answer, which she indicated, was, no, I haven't. And when it comes to movies, particularly if you're like low budget movies, that's honestly like job one. I know it sounds bass backwards because the way we think of this is you go and you make the thing, and then after you make the thing, then you find out if people want the thing. But that's not really the way to do it. The way to do it is to go find what people are selling right now and to go make another one of those. Know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. So, go talk to people and say, what movies do you sell? Because usually distributors are specialized. Usually they'll be like, I do horror movies, or even more specific, a lot of it would be like, I distribute a lot of haunted house movies, or a lot of supernatural horror, Scream Queens, whatever. Look at the Hallmark Channel. How many different rom-coms are those people, marketing and distributing every year? So
Too many.
distributors tend to be in niches, and you need to go find some that you can get along with and start talking about the kind of movies they want to sell, because those need to be the kind of movies you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're
Mm-hmm.
coming to me and you want to make a movie, but you don't know how it really participates in the larger ecosystem of what movies are going to sell and who's going to sell and market it to you, and then we're already kind of starting off poorly. But what it
It sounds
was
like people are looking for investors for a project where they have no idea what the expected return is likely to be.
right, and ultimately, I think like their vision is that somebody like me will go, send me your script. This script is awesome. Here's a check for $100,000. Go make a movie.
And
And
what? Universal is going to buy it? It's going to end up in theaters? Like,
right, yeah, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's going to be DVD on Amazon, and you're going to
right,
get whatever the distributor gives you. It's going to end up
right,
on stuff like DVD collection for boomers.
right,
3,000 movies for $1. What a great value!
right.
And then they're going to make a little bit of scratch, and if they're net positive, they'll talk to you for your next one.
Right.
And you'll, hopefully have spent less on the movie that you got for it, so you can afford a next one.
There you go. But yeah, like I'll certainly look. But as we're discussing, so Danny has got some comics in production, and I may become an investor and finish them off. And hey, that's a market I understand better than movies.
Mm.
Although I have made a movie and it did make money, so I was happy about that. But the way that happened is I found a successful movie maker who was already doing stuff, and I was like, I would also like to make a movie, and he's like, it just so happens I have this movie right here that needs an investor. I'm like, let's do it. So there you go.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, and just go to community college, and he was there, boy, and and that's the other thing. When I went to college, I studied chemistry and geology, so not anything that I ended up actually doing much. But as Danny can tell you, I really relished writing Lords of Iron. I was like, finally, geology is coming in handy.
Right. You could have seen the word salad pressed to the story.
Yeah.
I had to try and turn that into art directly.
Right, yeah.
So you're one of like the few people that can actually comprehend the fact that the Earth's actually changed on its own over the years. So,
sure,
yeah.
And again, I know I've talked about this multiple times, but I think the fundamental science. There you go. Yes, geologists rock.
Yes, I agree.
Or another I actually dated a woman who had a bumper sticker that said "Subduction leads to orogeny," which is geology. That's geological jargon. Subduction is when one plate goes under another one. It's been subducted. And orogeny is mountain building, so subduction leads to orogeny.
There you go.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. It's Mario. Hello.
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 Hello, mountains. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's great.
I think she was also anyway.
We won't get into that today.
I don't want to get into that. She broke my heart, that bitch.
Oh no!
I am so sad. Way back.
Way to go, that bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, she's since gone off to live a probably not so happy life, but.
Well, you shouldn't say anything because when you open up Twitter next,
I'm not saying. I wish her all the best. It's all cool.
When you open up Twitter next, Dark Gift will be making a comic with her. Who knows?
Right. I just saw this comment in passing. What did I miss? Dark Gift was talking about his sex life with John De La Rose last night.
This is what I heard from Bean. This is all I know. Okay. And I was like, I'm not watching that. It's like,
I mean. And the thing is, I don't think anyone's especially interested in Dark Gift's sex life. They're only interested because of me.
I don't want to know. Yeah, don't want to know. Yeah.
Anyway.
Why?
Crazy life.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Chromatic Beetlejuice.
Ooh, that's a cool title.
Yes, Danny is the sushi guy one.
Yeah.
I was thinking Ghost in the Shell ripoff, but okay.
No, you threw me on this. Threw that title on me last week. I noticed when now you change it on me. I'm keeping an eye on you guys.
Chromatic Beetlejuice algorithm is a great name for an anime. So
it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
It doesn't mean it's not the Ghost in the Shell ripoff with that sushi guy. It can be more than one thing.
It's true. Yes.
All right, Mario, you want to cue us up here, or what do we read?
Well, I think I'm pressing you pretty good for narration. I'll have Danny be Mitsuha. Larry will be the lead knight, and then I'll be the other characters.
Is there anything the audience needs to understand about the story before we dive in?
Everything.
For this one, this is basically just a reworking of what we had last time, because you suggested I fix some of the pacing, some of the actions, especially with the combat, and then the whole last 3 pages at the end got completely redid to something different. I shifted the order around.
Have I told you the story that you deadliest female fighter pilots who ever lived?
Not sure.
You know how many times I've pitched that story? I'm about to go do a comic show this weekend, and then one next weekend. And then I got a nasty email from the one in Miami. Like, I didn't pay. And they're like, well, we're just giving up your spot then. I'm like, well, clear, if you sent me an email, it means you want money from me. So hopefully if I get that worked out, then yes. And then the weekend after that. And I'm going to talk to a lot of people. And I'm going to say all about my stories. And it's important that anytime anyone gives you an opportunity to step up to the plate and talk about your stories, that you can do exactly that, Mario.
The elevator pitch. I thought you meant this specific script. Oh, the elevator pitch I had written down was essentially Mitsuha's a younger member on a assault force, but there's a drug that goes around that turns people into essentially T-800s, and so it's up to her to solve the case, because if she doesn't, the whole city will turn into just a gigantic crime war.
Because the T-800s are walking around?
I guess.
All right. Drugged up Terminators. Okay.
Yes, I like it.
All right, I am narrating.
Hold on. Let's just back this up, because this came up before, and for our one audience member.
Yes.
I do see that the top of this page says page 1. But if I recall correctly, it's probably not page 1, or is this actually page 1? Because if we're giving you feedback on literal page 1 or actually page 15, it's going to be very different. Mario?
It's me. I'm Mario.
Well, it says page 2 to 17 in the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who had a digitized effect?
I'm sorry, what?
Did any of you hear the voices go get digitized, or was that just on my end?
That was just on your end.
So
our question was, are we opening at what is actually page 1 of your story?
For page 1 of the 3rd issue, yes.
Oh, okay. So issue 3, page 1.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Should I denote that in the script, or would that be obvious from the title page?
I mean, let's go to the title page, untitled, written by author's name.
Oh, no, I gotta fix that.
I
gotta fix that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Give me a little more to go on.
Name of book.
Let me tell you, if you ask for any of my scripts, the title page will be filled out. It will say White Lily issue 4. It will say that. So I encourage people to do the same. All right, page 1, panel 1 is a continuation of the ending of chapter 2. That is awesome to know. Panel 1, exterior, cyanide block night. Caption for the fate. Oh, am I reading the captions also?
Yeah.
Okay. For the fate of a girl who might know something. Mitsuha is facing the lead, and again, all right, hold on. Right there. No. Mitsuha faces the lead knight with 3 squires behind him. The lead knight pulls out and activates a laser mace. The chain jumps with the energy inside of it. And we got a vroom. And the squires are linky men wearing shoddy cream white armor, plates, and poorly made helmets inspired by medieval armor made from cheap pot metals you could find at a landfill. 2 of them had wooden planks for weapons. The 3rd has a special padded gloves.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have to finish you and the merry men off.
Attack!
Panel 2, the squires charge in towards Mitsuha. Now ready to fight. Their armor activates. The helmets have neon faces, allowing them to express a robotic, stoic look in hot pink. 1 now has gloves with electricity flowing out of them. Panel 3, the girl with orange hair who was knocked out from the last issue is on the floor, not moving.
For knocking out that fine lady with that other fine lady.
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah. Mitsuha readies a flashbang, puts on a tinted visor, and blows the hair out of her face.
You shall regret crossing the path of the White Knights.
Panel 5, Mitsuha point of view. She sees the squires running at her at medium range. The flashbang falls towards the squire with the electrical gloves to her right. It begins to detonate. Page 2, panel 1. The 2 squires with planks in their arms continue forward, eyes closed. The gloved squire falls in a daze from the flash, hands trying not to touch his face. And we have a koof.
Koof.
Berg.
Panel 2. Mitsuha dodges a wood plank slammed down to her right. She crosses her arm. By the way, you're doing great on the active verbs. I love that. She crosses her arm over and fishhooks the squire. Oh, yeah, I remember that. With her left middle and index finger, she reaches to her waist with her right hand to grab an extendable baton. I know I expressed this note last time. I still feel it unrealistic. She's doing a one-hand fishhook.
One hand fish. Oh, that's the issue. 1 hand. Okay, so I'll note that here.
All right, the fish hook technically, I mean, one, it's a horrible thing to do to someone, so it's not like a move that I've been trained in. But what I understand is it tends to be like usually like like you're trying to rip the person's face off, and
Ugh.
by going inside the cheek, and like if you go one way, they can just turn their head so that you can't really have leverage. So usually it's both sides at once.
Oh.
Why are you so serious about this, Preston? Why so serious?
And this is something I've been packing a lot of books, watching a lot of YouTube, and I've been watching some stuff on like medieval knights and stuff. And a topic came up of how long would a fight last between knights or whatever. And it came down to if one knight had armor and the other, and if a guy with armor is fighting a guy without armor in a medieval setting, it will be a very short fight. Because the guy with armor is just going to be doing, full technique and not concerned about, taking the opponent's blows too much.
Comes down to your grappling, really.
You're right. Yes. And
Yeah.
There's certainly
And
that.
and whether or not you've got a good dagger that can do something.
Protect your
There you
chinks.
go.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Well, see, I do, and that's why I wanted it to be technically right. But again, coming from my own experience with fighting, like usually most fights and most combats and most gun battles are over
In,
real
like,
quickly.
20 seconds, yeah.
They're not like this big long thing. So,
And that's why, to this date, Bushido Blade on the PlayStation 1 is still the most realistic fighting game.
It is great.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Hit once, lose your arm, keep on fighting. Die.
No, the fights are over in like 20 seconds. You have like one hit kills in that game. It's really awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
So and you see that if you read my stuff, like I don't have long combat scenes. Like my fights are very like boom done, and that's how it is. All right. Mitsuha dodges a wood plank slammed down to her right, with crosses her left over. She fish hooks the squire with her left, middle, and index fingers. She reaches to her waist with her right hand to grab an extendable baton. Panel 3, she whips him in the side of the head with her baton, knocking him out. I might add a little sound effects here for the crunch.
Okay.
Thap.
Panel 4,
okay,
she turns
THAPP.
and throws him across the floor, exposing her backside. And okay, now because I did judo for so long, now I gotta go. Throws, you say? All right, how is she throwing him? All right, so she cracks him upside the head with a baton, and now she's throwing him. So across the floor, no. So I want to know how she's lifting and throwing, and not only me, your penciler will also want to know how she's lifting and throwing.
I want to know how this action rips the back of her pants off. And
No, that's not what I meant. Her backside. That's not what I meant. I meant like the camera thing, like like from her backside, man. I should have.
Danny. This is not John's script. Come on now.
I didn't even get that far. Now I see, like, that wasn't even the important part of the action.
Yeah, exactly.
And because it's not John's script, that's all you want to know how this happens.
Yeah.
So panel 5, the squire lands right next to the unconscious girl, who now wakes up.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Page 3, panel 1. Mitsuha gets hit by the lead knight's mace in her lower left and her left arm from the back. Her eyes pop upon impact.
And yet there's no copy.
Yeah. Panel 2, the lead knight approaches her from the background, resettling his laser mace. In the hold on. I just want to give a quick note, and I tend to give like script notes as I'm reading, like if they're like a technical thing, all the stuff I should see. Did you provide me with a good description of the lead knight? You really didn't. I mean, they're just kind of all. Oh wait, it's facing a lead knight. Well, yeah. I was facing a lead knight with 3 squires behind him. The lead knight, okay.
He is a continuation from issue 2, so...
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay.
But cool. But that's a good point. But the thing is, even though it's a separate issue, should I copy and paste that description in case they forget?
Or a separate illustrator, and frankly, just show them the models.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the better thing to do, to keep the script a little trim, is to put it in a separate document and just say like these are the character descriptions, and yeah, that's what I started doing because my character descriptions were taking up like 2 pages on the script or something like that, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
You could just go approaches the lead knight last seen at the close of issue 2.
Yeah.
You could just
Or
there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, that works too. Yeah.
The lead knight approaches her from the background, resetting his laser mace. In the foreground, the remaining squire approaches, hitting the 2x4 into the palm of his hand. Wham.
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 Wham. Wham.
Heh, boy.
Do you now understand who you are dealing with?
The girl begins to get up slowly.
No, I can't let you get away.
I hope you like the taste of lumber.
Lumber's tasty. Panel 4. Mitsuha sweet kicks the last squire, knocking him down. Page 4, 5 panels. Panel 1. She is about to get up until the mace lands to her left foot, almost teasing her. Jack.
There's a sound effect. You have hurt that lady for too long now.
Panel 2. The lead knight resets his mace and Mitsuha gets up, baton still in hand.
What's she to you? It's not like she'll ride your pony after this.
Panel 3. The lead knight's frown turns from hot pink to red. He throws his mace, this time a laser pulse emitting from it.
It is something that a wench like you won't understand. Oh, I like that language. That's good.
There Panel 4. The mace gets Mitsuha across the left side of her face. Some blood drips onto her cheek. And
Crack.
Crack. Exactly. Panel 5. The panel shows the knight closest up front in the panel with Mitsuha angled at a distance, as well as the orange-haired girl running away, one arm on her head.
Flee, my fair lady.
Panel 6, small panel. Mitsuha is pissed and blood is dripping down her face.
She's pissed.
Wait, how does the piss end up on her face?
No.
No. This is what story are you reading, man?
You mean blood flows down Mitsuha's angry face?
Yes.
She's
I
pissed.
Page 5, panel 1. Mitsuha thrusts forward and extends her baton, hitting the lead knight helmet in the top right corner. The lights on his helmet shut off.
Oh, shut up.
And smoke comes out. His voice box also shuts off, and he drops his mace, but is not dead.
I'll hold her off as long.
Mitsuha, while using her left hand to push into her left earpiece, pivots and begins to chase after the girl.
Trace my coordinates. 4 incapacitated, ready to arrest. I'm following the 5th on foot.
Panel
Wait,
three.
there we go. Panel
Yeah.
3. Mitsuha puts more energy into her dash, closing the gap between the two. Mitsuha, wanting it to end, throws the baton at the girl's feet.
CAF, fucking stop. Okay, I
Hope this works. The girl begins to stumble and fall. Clear gouges of herbs and different clear pouches of herbs. Yes, or herbs.
Or herbs.
Clear pouches of herbs or herbs and different syringes come out of her jacket, hitting the floor. A green syringe shines brighter than the others to ensure the reader sees it. There we go. Panel 5. Mitsuha, sweaty, tired, her left cheek a little swollen and bloody, grabs the girl by her shoulder.
Well. That looks awfully expensive, especially that green one. Why is Mitsuha off panel on a panel where she's in the panel?
I apologize. It's probably from the last edition.
This is a really
That's
good
a good
point.
point. Yeah.
That probably, from the last version. Let me fix that off panel. There we go.
There we go.
Great.
Page 6, panel 1, close up. The girl has a defeated expression on her face. Mitsuha pats on her friender holster to intimidate the girl.
Don't make me put you in a body bag, because I will.
Do it. They'll kill me if I go back.
Panel 2, the reveal takes Mitsuha by surprise.
Wait, Wait, what? Who will kill you? This is that night patrol. I can always lock him up. Back up is on the way.
It's not them. It's not them. It's something else.
Panel 3,
Some ID. Oh, sorry.
Mitsuha puts on her serious police officer face.
Show me some ID.
The girl quickly shuffles in her pockets and begins to pull out her wallet. So since this is comic script, I tend to put all the direction like up here because it's not like a screenplay where we can have thing, line, and then reaction. So really, this should all be up here and then.
So just all the actions together, regardless of the order, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Because there is no order. Like
Gotcha.
it's all going.
Yeah, like to actually do that the way you want it, the way it's written. Panel 3 is actually 2 panels.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Panel 4, she gives Mitsuha her ID with both hands. Mitsuha yanks it out of her hands. Yoink! Page
Now
7,
we're in a comedy, right?
There we are. Yoinks! Page 7, 4 panels. Panel 1, with her thumb covering a bit of the portrait. The girl's ID is displayed in full. Mitsuha. Mitsui Ayanami, 19... Oh, sorry.
I'm Mitsuha.
Okay. Oh, you're right.
Ayanami,
Yeah.
19 years old. You definitely don't live in this part of town. Or in this town at all. Isn't Ayanami a family name?
Yep.
So you'd want to put that first, right? Or if you're going to be super Anglo about it, I guess it's fine.
That's the thing I'm still trying to decide, because if it's the comic and they know Japanese, that rule, it'll be flipped. But at the same time, if I have people who aren't used to it, they might get confused with the names and go, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
I'm still debating on that. So for now, I'm keeping it
name
in
Ayanami, first name Mizuki would be a way where it works for both.
Okay. Oh, thanks. I'll write that note down here. Last name.
Welcome back, Larry.
Yes, my internet kicked me.
And then, you don't have to worry about it, and you're explaining what's happening.
Gotcha.
And that's the sort of panel where you can get away with that. Anyways, moving on. Sorry.
It's all good.
Mitsuha lowers the ID and squints her eyes at Mitsuki.
Ugh.
You have
Hope she's not squirting her eyes. Yeah, like...
No, it's squint. I wrote the word squint.
That's racist. And then
Who's
should
Mizuki?
we do that, Mitsuki?
Oh, well, I can't tell you.
Okay, fine. Because...
Panel 3, gunshots go off in the distance. Mizuki whips her head towards the gunshot. You could just you can simplify these two sentences here. Mitsui whips her head towards distant gunshots.
Oh, okay.
And then Mitsuha stares at the sewer grate. Sounds great. Grata.
That's why. In a few minutes, they'll be all over.
Oh yeah. Panel 4. Mitsuha, smirk on her face, lifts the sewer grate. Mitsuki cringes in disgust at the thought of entering the sewer.
Not if we get out of here first.
You can't be serious.
Come on, Flyboy, just get in the garbage chutes and
That's
we'll go home.
right. Page 8. Mitsuha stomps through the ghastly mud and grass-colored sewer water. Mitsuki is slowly sloshing behind her, too grossed out to keep up. There are bits of and again, you went totally passive on this whole thing. There are bits of trash in the water as well as pipes on the ceiling above. Drip, drip, drip.
Got out just in time. Good thing the grate was right there.
Ew, 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 ew!
Mitsuki steps into a deeper part of the sewer, catching her surprise. Her arms spring into the air as she begins to panic.
Slosh.
Now, how did you get your hands on all of this?
Ack.
Panel 3, Mitsuha, annoyed, turns around and pulls Mitsuki up to the stable footing by her arm.
Follow where I step. It's uneven here. And you answer me or I'll shove you back deeper. How did you get all of that in your jacket?
All that junk. There we go. Mitsuha drags Mitsuki by her arm, mirroring a teacher and a wandering child on a field trip.
There we go.
Well, I gotta pay for food somehow.
And dealing is the smarter method?
Guarantees I'll have something to eat the same day I work.
So what's on the menu?
I haven't eaten it yet.
I meant for your customers.
Page 5.
Uh-huh.
The two turn and stare at each other, locking eyes. A nervous Mitsuki fumbles her eyes in her jacket pockets, and Mitsuo frowns.
Oh, I got herbs and spices, Dreamweaver, Peruvian skies.
Psychedelics, especially sleepwalkers like Dreamweaver, can rack up a large sentence. Herbs just makes you into a carb-addicted couch potato. But Peruvian skies? That was a line.
There we go. We are getting a rundown on all the modern narcotics of the future.
That's all good, man.
Can't people just do blow? What's wrong with blow?
I thought that was trademark, man.
Blow.
You don't need to worry about the movie coming after you. I think you're safe.
Yeah. All right.
Mitsuki begins to sweat.
I was told it was used to help people focus and get things done.
You start hallucinating more and more the longer they use it. So how did you get that green juice?
Panel 2, Mitsuo walks across a few rows of pipes, still gripping onto Mitsuki.
I was given a small shipment yesterday morning.
Is there any more?
Not that I know of. I heard most of it went up in flames yesterday in the shootout.
Panel 3, Mitsuo stops and looks at Mitsuki, who still has her head hung low.
Shit, we almost had it. Did they tell what the drug does?
Not really. Something about for a man who needs action or close to that. They really skimmed out on the details this time.
Damn.
Oh, it's a penis pill.
Yeah. Yeah. Mitsuki removes her grip on Mitsuo removes her grip on Mitsuki's arm and places it on her shoulder instead. Mitsuki has a confused look.
Mizuki, that thing is worse than anything you sold before.
You done screwed up, girl. Page 10. Alright. Mitsuki freezes and tenses up at the reveal.
That product makes people into unstoppable killers.
Oh yeah, there we go. T800's coming up. Mitsuki begins to shake and tries convince herself that it's not true.
I tried convincing. No, that can't be right. They wouldn't make me sell anything like that.
They did, and they're right behind you. No, okay. One, they make you sell drugs that has people. Yes, that would be dramatic. One, they made you sell drugs that has people jumping off rooftops thinking they can fly. Two, I have the police report about last night's fire, and it looks like someone used that drug and started a fight, which led to the fire.
Huh.
Okay, they're right behind you would be better. Wow.
Yeah, I'll consider that right behind you.
Panel 3, Mitsuki buries her head in her hands, ashamed.
I'm such a dumbass.
But you can help me stop it.
How?
Tell me who gave you drugs, and give me that vial you have.
Mitsuki looks down at the disgusted water, her legs, and ponders the offer for a second. She whips her head to Mitsuo after making a decision.
2 actions, 1 panel.
Yeah. Page 5. Mitsuki has her backside facing the reader in the foreground with Mitsuo in the background.
I will.
All right, let's.
But.
Got any Scrapple? Only you can stop the drug trade.
There we go.
You read it like a 90s PSA. That's why.
Yeah.
I literally did the Uncle Sam finger point while I read that.
Yeah.
So, are we at panel 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mitsuki looks up at the reader with a serious look, with one hand in her pocket. A thug voice is heard out of vision. Okay.
Yeah. Only if you give me protection.
Okay.
Shh. Shut up! I hear something.
All right, that's 10 pages, y'all.
Oh, look at that.
So,
yeah,
thank you so much for presenting Chromatic Beetlejuice. We had some action. We had some drugs. We had some drug messaging. We had a fight with some, like homeless Cretan thugs, and
homeless Cretan techno thugs.
Cretan techno thugs. Yeah.
Sounds like a mixtape.
So, yeah, I feel like this is
For
definitely.
fuck's sake, man! The project is called what? Chromatic Beetlejuice algorithm, and you have a problem with homeless Cretan techno thugs?
Yeah, it sounds like a mixtape. Like you buy the album for the show. Here's the song.
Anyway, so it's, I felt like it definitely gave me my '80s action vibe. I felt like this is like a futuristic version of Raw Deal, which I thought was one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's underrated performances. I thought that one was awesome.
It's a pretty good movie, yeah.
Oh, it's decent, yeah. But everybody goes crazy over Total Recall. That's why in the future, stuff is cooler. So
it's true, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do you think, Danny?
Okay, so the action was great. The dialogue is much better. The line about the plank or whatever was hilarious. And I really liked that you actually stuck with the scene with the characters talking in the sewer instead of like going straight to some mysterious fucking hideout bullshit like the last version of this I'm familiar with. Keeping it to fewer locations actually means you have to develop the characters, and it's clear that's where you're going.
Yeah,
Larry.
I would add on that and say yes, it's definitely good to get some back and forth between these two characters so we know a little bit more about them. Even though it's your third issue, so you should probably know your main character pretty well by now, but it's good to have the secondary character in the story have some dialogue. So she's not just the, MacGuffin of the story or whatever. So, yeah, the sewer part was pretty interesting. The fights were good. I think you need to work on your. Oh, that's a critique. So I'll
go ahead.
What are your takeaways here?
Yeah,
he needs to say nice things instead of just saying there was a fight. We know there was a fight.
I think it's this feels like a first draft. So you definitely need some polishing of the stuff. In terms of so we basically had two scenes. We had a fight scene, and then we had a post-fight drug scene. So the fight scene, fine, I think. I mean, I would want a little bit more vivid descriptions and poses because I feel like writing in the comic book medium, like that's what you want. You want to capture the big pose that the penciler is going to put down, that people are going to go, oh wow, that's a cool uppercut or that's a cool thing. So instead of going about like somebody's changing this or hand or reaching over here, give me big dynamic pose, as action is happening, and I feel like that'll help improve how the scene looks. And then we got two characters talking about drugs and stuff. I feel like all right. It feels 80s, and I think you should just embrace 80s. She's talking about how bad drugs are. I really think you should do no, you don't understand how bad this stuff is. This is your brain, and this is your brain on D800. Make your turn. So
what does she do? What does she do? Does she just like crack her head against the wall? Like this is your head on drug. Just throws her head against the wall.
There you go.
I mean, yeah, why not, right? Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of emotion, because I do come back to emotion a lot. I don't know what emotions your main character really experiences over the course of these pages, other than kind of a confident, combative cop demeanor. Like she didn't express much concern, I don't think, during the fight. Like she seemed pretty in control of the fight and herself. And then afterwards, she seemed pretty in control of the perp. So there wasn't a ton of emotional range out of her, and I'm still kind of wondering. I know that she's got to stop the bad drug from doing the thing for the plot, but I would like it if she could. Yeah, exactly. Crockett and Tubbs, 2075. I would like it if there was a bit more of a personal connection, because otherwise it still feels a little, like we're talking about all these other movies, like Raw Deal, and it's because like these pages are feeding into that, and they're not really giving me a reason to anchor anything unique to her and go, oh no, she wants X thing. So I would search for a little bit more.
Yeah, the thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how to convey all that without making the page too cluttered, because that is an issue that if you give too much detail, that's why I'm trying to still figure out how to balance that.
Okay, well, let me just ask you, what is it that she cares about?
And in this case, at least this part right here, I want it to be kind of be like, I probably should focus on her being more impatient, because they said, shit, we almost had them. So I'm thinking, make her feel more impatient, like, come on, let's hurry up, let's get this over with, so the sooner we end this, the better.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you conveyed that relatively well. I think the main character does seem like she's in a hurry. She does seem like she's got places to be, and she tends to kind of put time pressure on the perp, and whose name escapes me. It's Hitsuki.
It's fine. It's okay.
Anyway, I mean that's cool, but that's not the kind of thing that's going to draw an audience in. Because instead we're going to spend 10 pages reading about a main character who's kind of annoyed and pressed for time as they're battling street thugs and lecturing people about drugs.
I think also because of what was in the first issue when I showed her, like she was like she felt guilty about, accidentally letting her comrade get his legs blown out and caught on fire. Because I don't want to push that too much to where the reader goes, okay, we get it. He's in the hospital. I've seen General Hospital. We know how this ends. He dies of cancer for some reason. I don't want the reader thinking that.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I can step in with a constructive.
Yep.
Although Preston's asking for emotion, his comment about our impatient protagonist, I think, was telling. Jumping off of and they're right behind you while we were doing the reading, there is not a lot of tension in that sewer scene. There's kind of no tension in that sewer scene. People are walking through a sewer.
Yeah.
You have a perpetrator who's not under arrest, who's being really whitey, who can just turn around and run whatever she wants, and is being lectured about 4 different kinds of drugs. And then they are right behind them at the end. So, what the fuck?
I think I know
why
how to.
Why aren't they running? Why are we talking about different kinds of drugs that don't make people into T-800s? Because we don't. I'm pretty sure the reader doesn't give a fuck about that.
Right.
Where is the imminent threat? That's not boring. I wanted something to blow up.
Yeah.
And then it's totally cool to lean into 80s style, dare to keep kids off drugs. Do you know what these are doing to people on the street? People are dying out here, man. Whatever, fucking lean the hell into that, because then our protagonist actually gives a shit about something. But what is happening? I don't know what happened in issue 2, but it sounds like she was chasing a perpetrator who, for some reason, got knocked unconscious. Then got protected by a bunch of techno weenies.
Dweebs,
who our protagonist had to beat up in order to arrest her.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's kind of fun.
Now they're
but...
having a roll through a shit-filled sewer, and we're okay with this. Like, am I wrong, or like, is there like a massive total whipsaw going on?
Yeah. You could kind of fix the problem of her, tag along by having her handcuff herself to the like drag her, like
give them a reason to be in this together.
Yeah,
and why is our protagonist even doing this? Like, and like, fine, there's gunfire, but our protagonist is a badass. Why are they running? And the police are on their way. She's already called for backup.
Yeah,
so that's all very confusing. And although there are numerous ways to solve it, like, give us a reason for them to both want to work together at that time is a good one. Because like that's really the problem to solve. Like, I could give you a ton of ways to solve it. It's your story, man. Right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, well, these techno weenies have a big boss who's their pimp or whatever coming to find out where they are. They've already sold the girl to the pimp who's coming to collect, and that's what the gunfire is. We need, like, who is after them? What is the threat? Why are they doing this? Because you've already given us, before that scene starts, numerous ways out of it.
Yeah.
So why does that scene have to happen in that way?
What Danny's saying is there needs to be something that blocks them from the backup and forces them to go into the sewer. So
yeah, like,
there's a reason to be down there.
We can't come. Yeah. There's like a 4-alarm fire downtown.
Yeah.
We can't come. The president's daughter is being kidnapped, and we're the only dudes bad enough to save her.
To
keep the 80s shit
like
going
that.
on.
Yeah.
Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up, and he's dressed as a fat woman. Whatever. Like, give us a reason why our protagonist needs to find a way out of this and work with this criminal who's a drug dealing perpetrator, instead of just not having the next scene be in the interrogation room.
Yeah, that works if you can incorporate it in there. So
all right.
Yeah, but yeah, he's right. Like, you do need to keep some sort of like omnipresent threat in the scenes where they're being chased, right? Like,
and they're right behind us is a good one if you want an easy answer, because ultimately they are right behind them. So that's the path of least resistance.
Yeah, I wish I was further along in like my actual books, because then I could show you. Because the first 3 issues of my comic are essentially a chase scene, so yeah. And then it's just like constant and immediate danger at every turn until they finally get away at the end of issue 3. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're going to share a screen so that we can read Cygnus Imperium issue 3.
Yeehaw.
Opening on page 17. All right.
Yes, this is the end of issue 3. So, in issue 1, a gang of galactic diplomats gets shot down by the evil empire and lands on a planet where the long exiled emperor of the galaxy has been camping out, and discovers that his farm turns into a giant robot that can punch spaceships.
Yeah, his turnip farm, which was excellent, by the way. Yeah.
Like, and the art really brings that together, I feel.
Yeah.
And gives you a sense of the scale. That was a fun scene.
Yeah.
Larry, just for everyone who's just watching, was just reviewed some previews of issues 1 and 2 last week.
Really cool. Yeah.
In issue 2, they figure out how the giant robot works, fight off some space pirates, and in issue 3, they return to our hero's home planet, deliver and get countersigned the diplomatic treaty that they were holding in issue 1, and are now returning to Calypso, the mining colony, to share the good news and protect them from the evil empire's invasion that begins right after they show up. It turns out our former emperor protagonist is a fucking madman, but still not as bad as the actual bad guy. He loses his shit. He's piloting the robot. He's going to punch some spaceships. And the bad guy leading the evil empire right now is also a bad man and is currently using some of his spaceships to shoot at the giant robot, which is hiding amongst the other spaceships, therefore destroying his own army. Our giant robot protagonist landed on the evil flagship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good.
Can you go over that again?
Larry, do you want to do narration?
Sure, I'll do it this time since John's not here. Yeah. Yeah.
And Preston, you can be Ravana, and Mario is going to be Thorn, and then we'll all sort of take turns on everybody else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. All right. Panel 1. Like a weightlifter doing a deadlift of his own body weight, the Paradox begins lifting the cannon away from the ship. The opposite force is so strong, its feet leave impressions in the hull. In the background, many of the other ships are engaging the Calypso fighters, while laser blasts from the Protector fleet and the Calypso lasers are flying back and forth. Panel 2. Insert. See you.
Interior.
Oh, sorry. Of Ravana. Sorry. What's that?
Close up.
Close up. Sorry. Of Ravana exerting what looks to be like the most energy he's ever had in his life in controlling the ship. Much better delivery that time. Yeah. Exterior of the void. The Paradox rips the cannon off the HMS metal. Yes. Page 18, panel 1. Interior HMS metal bridge. Wide shot of the bridge. The weapons officer, face still bruised, turns to report to Argent. The comms officer is talking, but still staring intently at his or her screen. Everyone is either working desperately or panicking.
Okay, and we'll have Preston be Argent for this because he gets to scream some more. Proton fusion cannon no longer responding, Your Grace.
What? I'm Little John.
A report coming in from HMS Kang. Enemy vessel seems to have ripped the cannon off our hull.
What?
Exterior of the void. The Paradox throws the proton cannon into the nearby Protector ship, causing a huge explosion. Yes.
All ships, this is Chairman Catan. The dozens of disabled Argent's flagship. Let's show these Protectors what we're made of.
Panel 3. The Calypso defense fleet attacks the Protector ships in earnest. In the background, the Paradox is drop-kicking a spaceship or something. Obviously, the Protectors are shooting back, so some of the Calypso ships have taken...
So drop-kicking needs gravity, right? Because usually you drop the ball and then you kick it.
Not with this ship, no.
All right.
It has its own gravity. There you go.
I think that's the best bit of art direction I've given it a while. Just drop-kicking a spaceship or something. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, the Protectors are shooting back. Some of the Calypso ships take damage, be destroyed too. Yes. Obviously, yes. Interior HMS metal bridge. Close up of Argent. He's angry and disappointed, like a classic Dr. Doom no pose.
No!
There you go.
Curse you, Ravana! I'll get the better of you yet.
Oh yeah, that's Dr. Doom. All right.
Totally Dr. Doom. Everyone gets paid. I love this project.
Yes. Everyone on the bridge turned to watch their leader have a meltdown. Argent seems to have calmed down a little. He's giving orders.
Signal all ships to withdraw.
Confirming all ships withdraw to Anna.
Signal the Aesir shipyard to prepare for repairs. They won't attack a shipyard with just one vessel.
Or will they? Page 19, panel 1, interior Paradox Bridge. There's lots of internal damage, but nothing's on fire anymore. Calamity is reporting to Thorn. Ravana looks exhausted. He is holding one hand to the chip in his temple, while Ego is keeping him from collapsing to the ground.
Thorn, look. The Protector fleet is retreating.
Thank the Void. I don't know how much more of this Ravana can take.
Exterior of the Void. The Protector fleet jumps into hyperspace. Panel 3, the Protector fleet is gone. The Paradox and remaining Calypso defense fighters fly towards the colony, leaving behind a field of wreckage.
Great work, Thorn. Now, I heard you said something about a treaty? Meet me in New Stockford.
Roger that. See you soon.
Page 20. Panel 1, exterior New Stockford Station. The Paradox is docked at New Stockford. We can see it's taken significant amount of damage. Interior New Stockford Spaceport. The crew of the Paradox walks out of an airlock to meet the chairman to be met by Chairman Catan and an honor guard, mostly civilian counselors. Ravana is still leaning against Igo. He is too tired to hide his face with his hat. He looks awful, sunken eyes, sweat-drenched hair, and shirt. Actually, everyone from the Paradox looks awful. Their clothes are stained, splotched, and ripped from fires, grime, and other messes that occurred throughout the battle. Thorn holds out a data crystal for Catan.
Welcome to New Stockford and to Calypso. There are no words to express our thanks for your contribution to our defense.
No thanks needed. It was our honor per our treaty.
Thorn, continue.
Oh, congratulations, Chairman Catan. Calypso and Tiltus are officially allies. We've shown Arlington that we mean business. We've taken the first step towards carving out this corner of the void for ourselves.
I really like the bro for Thorn. I'm going to read him like that in my head now.
Cool. Panel 1, interior New Stockford Spaceport. The scene continues.
Freedom from the Imperium will not come lightly, Chairman. I've known Argent for a very long time. He is impulsive, vindictive, and underhanded. He will want revenge.
Panel 2, Catan bows before Ravana. Yeah.
Sure. If you are indeed who you appear to be, I assure you, I meant no disrespect to your glorious project.
Panel 3, Ravana slumps more into Ego's arms.
Stand up. This battle is meaningless if we aren't in it together.
Panel 4, back to the wide. Everyone's mingling, sitting down, relaxing a little.
All right. Random counselor, how can we assist with repairs? You know we have the best ore supply in the void. And so, Larry, you can be Calamity here.
All right. This ship's nanotech armor is self-repairing, giving it enough time.
And let's have Mario do all right.
Yeah, but if we're thinking about upgrades, I have some ideas.
More punching.
Punching.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll add guns. That's an upgrade.
No, 2 more arms. That's like it.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Your ship swings through space with arms.
Page 22. Interior HMS Metal Captain's office. Duke Argent is in his office talking to his executive officer as they watch the view screen recording of Ravana on a private monitor. The setting is very similar to the Captain's Ready Room in Star Trek, the TV show, except Argent has room decorated with many dangerous-looking missile weapons. Bows, arrows, boomerangs, guns, whatever. There's a standard bust of Ravana on his desk. The recording is paused on a shot where we can see Ravana with part of Thorn's body, no face, taking up 1/3 of the shot. Caption. Planet, is it Anov? Or
That's fine.
okay, sure.
There, sir.
What is it, Drake?
Panel 2 into the recording. The recording is paused on the shot where we can see.
Direction.
Yeah.
On the left, that uniform, that pattern is unquestionably Tesian.
Yes. Panel 3, Arjun is leaning back in his chair, feet on the desk, while the XO looks on, examining the bust of Ravana in his hands.
Fascinating. Prepare the fleet.
Panel 4, extreme close-up of the bust lying on the floor, broken, as Arjun and his XO leave.
We might not need to wait and hide after all.
Whoa!
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was good.
Stuff happened.
Yep.
We had a space battle. We have drop kicking and zero gravity, which I thought was pretty cool. Let's see. The good guys got away, and the bad guys were ruining, and fantastic.
Yes.
All right, Larry, what do you think?
Yes, definitely good pacing on the battle. Lots of crazy scenes. I like the ripping of the big cannon off. That was pretty cool. Yeah. And the drop kick. I mean, you can't go wrong with a drop kick in space, right?
There we go. Yes.
Only thing better would be a fish hook in space, but you know.
A one-handed space fish hook.
Yeah, which you could do, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. He's got arms.
I mean, it's hard to do that too.
Yeah. Well, if it has like a forward intake, you can kind of just grab it there, and yeah. So,
I guess.
Anyway, yeah.
That might be a little bit too Babylon 5, which might be start caring about the physics.
It's true. Yeah.
That's Preston's job.
That's true.
I do my best.
Yeah. Clearly, all around.
This project does not care about the physics.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely enjoyable. Good read. There we go.
All right, Mario.
No, I thought it was actually pretty fun with the drop kick, and then when he turns the ship, it has the entire just indentation of the other part of the ship. I'm like, that's actually pretty fun. When you said upgrades on the ship, you're kind of vague about to some degree, so I'm wondering if your artist will come up with something that looks really cool and then use that in the next issue after that.
Yeah, I should really like the next issue after that.
It's like, check out, our ship has a secret compartment for arms. So your ship has like limbs and everything.
What already
throw extra arms at other ships.
Yes,
pretty much.
Could do like a helicopter spin in space.
Exactly. Crazy train, no crazy ship.
Yeah.
All right, constructives. The only people who I really understand are the villains. Like the villains, I see they want something. I'm not exactly sure plot reason why, but they're clearly pissed off and they want things, and they're going for them. Heroes, all right, they're fighting for their survival, but I've lost a little bit of what the larger plot elements are for why they have to do the thing, and I mean. Look, here's the thing. You watch enough Star Trek, and I've watched a fair amount of Star Trek. It starts to become, okay, there's an opening scene of, and then there's a scene of technobabble, and then there's a scene of, oh my god, and then there's the captain has to come, and then we do whatever, and after a while, it's just we've done the plot necessary thing, and we have the stuff, and now we can get to the end of the scene where we go, hey, and cool, but. Again, like I was saying with Mario, so I want to be a little more grounded into something that I can point to someone and go, I agree with that person because I understand what they want and I agree with it, or I disagree with that person because I understand what they want and I disagree with it. And the only place I'm really getting that in this story is from the villains, or at least with the pages presented.
There. Am I missing crits from Larry?
What?
Larry, you got anything?
Yeah. I didn't really get that, but maybe it's because I just read the other two stories and I kind of kind of get a sense of what the characters, seeing them too kind of helps. Right. Yeah. It's hard to, he's got a big cast
He does.
So it's hard to discern it sometimes.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, the Space Fleet Shuffle.
It's not that big of a cast, thankfully.
Well,
you know what I mean, but it's always like more than 5 is hard for people to remember on average without going back a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not like 12 people or anything like, but it's you know, with odd names and stuff without the visual to go along with the character. Sometimes it's hard to follow. I guess I don't know. But,
the story as it is so far is, you know, a very Star Wars intro gets sort of hijacked by an ancient grudge between the two, like the villain and the villain antagonist. And this is where that sort of, like, those two stories sort of meet. Like, they're trying to carve out their own, like, independence in this corner of the galaxy.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, everyone's interests are completely aligned.
Like, Ravana's...
So,
yeah.
Sorry. I was going to say, like, I've already done a story sesh last week for issue 4, and it's, okay, well, now we're just at war. Let's go start our own competing government.
I kind of got Ravana as sort of like an anti-Obi-Wan almost. He's, you know, old and wise, but he's also sort of crazy. And
he's the Emperor as the good guy.
Yeah, exactly. So.
He's still an evil Emperor, though.
Yeah. But, it's the other characters might need a... Well, you did that in this issue, though. You gave them more backstory. So that was at the beginning of the issue, so I don't...
Yeah, so there's a ton of backstory for them here, and per your notes from the second third of the issue, I'm going to have to do a pass for the dialogue to distinguish everyone a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially because we have so much space battle action.
Yeah.
And, you know, issue 4 is very Empire Strikes Back. Everyone, like, has their own missions and does stuff, so that's going to help a lot.
Okay. Cool.
I know when the panels get cluttered, some people have to put like colors around the speech bubble so you can kind of indicate who's doing what. So that might be better. If it gets too crazy.
Right now I'm in black and white, so
never mind.
No,
I'm figuring out whether or not I'm ultimately in black and white, but I am comfortable with this being printed in black and white.
Yeah, I also got very Flash Gordon-y feels.
Yeah,
Brian Blessing would be amazing. Yes.
Yeah. It is probably more Flash Gordon, but then again, Star Wars is Flash Gordon, so whatever. Like, it's all connected in the end.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, so like this project for me is an attempt to like just do a straight up action project in a way where you really care about the stakes. So I feel like that's reasonably on point. Making the action cool is pretty hard. The gimmick of a robot that punches spaceships really helps. And then really just trying to have everyone be like at least cranked up to 9 on like the emotions and dialogue has been an interesting exercise.
Well, yeah.
And I gotta say, the other reason why I'm really comfortable with short combat scenes, one, I feel it's realistic because again, fights don't usually last that long. 2, you know, like if you chew up a lot of time with fight, like you know, like it's
I got bored in the middle of an action scene in issue 2, and then added a flashback action scene.
There you go.
Flashback in the middle of the other action scene.
Just don't go like Saw, where you have flashbacks in a flashback in a flashback. Just don't do that.
No, God.
I like those.
Than that. I hate flashbacks as a matter of principle.
But
like, Larry will attest to this. Like, I feel like breaking up that one action scene with a completely different one in the flashback really landed.
Yeah, I think so.
And, you know, I was like, well, if we're going to have a flashback, why did I stop the action scene for it?
There we go.
Right? Like, let's provide some new information. Like, I'm not going to flashback to stuff that's part of the actual story. I you know, like, it's my big problem with flashbacks is if it's that important, make it the story. So, like, how did it go down is a question I'm asking in a flashback. What happened is not. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So, again, an exercise in doing stuff I don't like or I don't easily gravitate towards in a project. This is really fun.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
And then I get to write shit like in the background, we're drop kicking a spaceship or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
I now expect someone to body slam the ship into a black hole or something at this point.
There you go. That would be cool. Yeah. Or like another ship just grabs a black hole and just bashes them over the head.
Yeah.
Can't do that. It's been done. I've seen Gunbuster.
CGI.
Yeah. No, I think once Preston looks at the two books, he'll get a better understanding of where you're going with it. But
Yeah, I'll ship them over.
Yeah.
Cool. Shit, I'll ship them over tonight. Take that, Preston. Give you some homework.
Good. Love it.
This is your homework assignment.
But it does give a good perception of someone who just picks up the book at the middle of a store or sees it online and then just flips to the middle and just happens to get hooked on the visuals but gets lost. You know, some kids do that.
It happens.
Yeah. It totally happens.
Barnes and Nobles.
That's why I always thought it was cool in the 90s X-Men run how they would split the stories up between issues. So they would run like 2 issues with one story and then they go into a completely different story and then go back to the other story and then finish up the other story so that you didn't really get as lost when you were reading it if you broke your issues up or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool that way.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Black Daddy. Oh, okay.
Black Daddy. All right.
Yeah.
Those are all the scripts we had for tonight.
Yes.
Hope so, Larry. You're gonna have some stuff next week.
Oh,
for us?
I hope so. I gotta sit down and pound some scripts.
Currently in the middle of writing a dungeon and a campaign guide explaining Viviax as a deity.
Excellent.
Which is gonna be cool, but it's not the kind of thing that I want to present. I want to present like, and here's a dungeon, and in room 1 we have whatever. Anyway. But yeah, so next week, hopefully, more people have more scripts.
Yeah.
I will be here to read those scripts. Or if my life goes right, maybe I'll have written some.
There you go. That would be great.
That would be great. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to start drafting issue 4 soon of Cygnus, so it'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody. See you every next week.
Yes.
Later.
Take care.
See you next week, guys.